healing your relationship with people. And it's not getting in a circle, singing kumbaya and all of that. That's not what it's about. What it's about is healing how other people affect you. Welcome to the Constant Chic YouTube channel. I am not in the office where you're gonna be watching the video that I'm actually posting today, which is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 of how to level up, go ahead and watch part 1 and then come back to see part 2. But as I was editing it, I decided to release it in 2 parts. So one part is already out. This one just dropped today. Oh well, I don't know when you're watching this, so today for you. And I hope you enjoy it. It's all about leveling up and the things that you need to do practically, but also things that you need to work out internally so that you can live your best life, so you can level up, so you can grow and become all that you can. I shared 6 tips in the last video, and I'm sharing 6 tips in this video. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. So glad to see you again. And if you haven't subscribed yet, but you've watched a few of my videos, we would love for you to be part of the fam. So go ahead, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of my updates. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Number 7, I'm a woman of faith, so there's no way that I can pretend that every good thing in my life isn't from God. Every good and perfect gift comes from above. And so number 7 is to be obedient. I know there's a lot of people that are listening to this right now and you're thinking about how you want to level up, what you want your life to look like. And I want to tell you that God has a plan for you, beautiful things. And if you are a woman of faith like me and you are trying to plan your own life or do your own thing outside of God or without consulting him or listening to him and what he has for you, then you're going about this whole thing wrong. Being obedient. And when I say obedient, you have to spend time with him. You have to spend time listening to him and asking him questions and having discernment into like what he's saying to you. And I know that this is not something that is easily attained. It's something that's easy. It takes time and it takes being diligent. The Bible talks about diligently seeking God, and so it takes all of those things. And I really want to encourage you to choose God's best for you. And so it's not so much so trying to figure out what you want and doing it all on your own, but like, no, stop, take a moment, pray, ask God, like, God, you created me, you give me all of these gifts, you gave me all of these abilities. So it's like, okay, God, you created me and you know me perfectly and you know the plans that you made for me. Talk to me. Like, what do you want me to do? What should I move forward with? Maybe you have like tons of ideas and you don't know which one to start with. Ask God. Then what idea should I pursue? Like, what should I do first? Or maybe you need more resources. And ask God, like, God, I don't think I know. I can't do this on my own. Would you send me people, send me resources, send me ideas, send me insight? And he will do it. But the thing is, and the reason why I wanted 7 to be obedience though, is that when he answers you, that's the really most important part, because I think that most of us are able to ask. I think we're pretty good about asking God for stuff, but he's not like a vending machine, you know? And so you're not necessarily always gonna get what you want, but you'll always get what is best for you. And so being obedient to God and being obedient to the next step that he's given you, sometimes he won't give you the whole staircase, he'll just give you a step. He won't give you the whole plan. That's usually his MO. Yeah. But he will give you the next step. So it's, okay, God, I'm going to ask you what to do, but then when you tell me, I'm going to obey, and I'm going to obey quickly. I think that delayed obedience is disobedience in a lot of ways, and you know what that looks like in your own life. So just do a little bit of soul searching and seeing, like, if God was to ask me to move somewhere or forgive someone or do something specific, like, would I do it? Would I be willing to do it? Am I just asking him to co-sign my plans and what I want, or do I want his best for my life? So being obedient and getting yourself in the mindset of obedience before the command comes is mucho importante, because It's not once the command comes you have to be like, oh, I need more obedience. Like, no, that's the muscle that you need to practice and say like, okay, God, not my will, but yours be done, and like already be ready for that. If you have any questions about it, or if I should do a video, actually, if I should do a video about any of these points, like in going more in depth, please let me know, because each point really gives like an overview of what you should do, but each point could be a video. Like if you want to get practical, it could be a video, so let me know. Woo! Number 8. Number 8 is very near and dear to my heart. Number 8 is to get serious about your health. Health is wealth. Now health, yeah, it makes everything more difficult when you're dealing with a health issue. And I've seen people with health issues who, through their issue and like in spite of and just with their sheer inner strength and tenacity, have been able to thrive. And I find that so inspiring. So inspiring. And I want to commend you, whomever you are, whatever point of health that you are, for waking up every day, for taking care of your responsibilities every day, on top of whatever you're going through physically, because that is not easy. And if you don't have any ailments, then this is also for you, in the sense of like, health is one of those underrated blessings that I feel people take for granted. When you're healthy, you think you'll always be healthy. Somehow, like in our brains, it doesn't compute that things can break in our bodies the same as they do in our cars and planes. Like they all need services, you know, and the same thing for the human body. If you treat it wrong, and just if you use it, like just through usage, it will break down. And so if you are healthy, or any point of health that you are really, there are things that you should be doing to prioritize your health. Because when you are not healthy, or when your health says we're going this far but no further, there is nothing that you can do about it. Now, I don't mean like treatment and stuff like that. Of course you can do that, but you have to basically submit to your body, in the sense of, if you're, let's say you have, I'll use something that we're all pretty familiar with. If you have a flu, let's say, and you have a fever, then you have to do the things to bring the fever down, and you have to rest your body. Like your body decides, like you have to rest. Like the only way you're gonna get over this flu and over this fever is rest. And so it doesn't matter that this report is due, or that post is supposed to go up. Like it doesn't matter. Like everything else pales in comparison to how your body feels. And so you wanna really prioritize your health, even if you have no issues. That's a beautiful thing. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. And you want to stay that way. And so exercising, making sure you eat healthy, whole foods is so important. I highly recommend, for all the things that I've learned about nutrition, that you look into an anti-inflammatory diet. Inflammation in our bodies creates so many issues, and a lot of it stems from what we eat, what we consume, the processed foods, the processed meats, all of the breads, the pastas. I know I'm stepping on some toes, and I know how you like to tussle. Don't come for me. I'm just sending you to like do your own research about inflammation and about an anti-inflammatory diet. And it's not like a no fun diet. Like I know no sugar, gluten is another big culprit, anything processed. Of course, if you love all those things, it'll take some getting used to, some rewiring, but you can still eat really good food and be mindful of the food that you're eating and what it's doing to your body and how it's affecting you. Just look into it is all I'm saying. And exercise. Move your body. Move your body and get regular checkups. Go to the doctor. And I'm talking to myself, because going to the doctor or the dentist, not my favorite things to do. There's a lot of other things that I want to do besides that, but it's important. Just being on top of things and knowing where you are and how you're doing and how you need to make changes before it's too late in 2024, please promise me you're gonna be on top of your health. All right, we're almost there. We only have a few more to go, and I love this next one. Number 9, healing your relationship with people. And it's not getting in a circle, singing kumbaya and all of that. That's not what it's about. What it's about is healing how other people affect you. And what I mean by that is your people pleasing, it's your FOMO, fear of missing out. That was a big one for me. And caring about other people's opinions. If you're gonna level up, but you are bound in people pleasing or needing to always be included, otherwise you feel some type of way, you feel sad, you feel left out, or feeling like other people's opinions of you are more valuable than what you think of yourself, baby, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Because people treat you out of the depth of their own hurts. And so if everything you do in your life has to be co-signed or approved or supported by the people in your life, you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna do anything. And no, don't get me wrong, there are supportive people out there, and getting support and help and understanding is amazing. It's really great, but it's not necessary. You don't have to have everyone in your life co-sign you wanting to pursue a specific career for you to be successful in that career. Eventually, trust me, they'll come around. Once you achieve your success, they'll come around. And the reason why they're not supporting you, sometimes it's not because they're bad people. Sometimes they just care about you, and so they're afraid for you. But you got this. You have the inner strength, you know, and they can be afraid for you, and that's okay. And that's how they show that they care. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. You really need to heal your relationship with other people in terms of how their actions, their words affect what you choose to do and how you choose to level up. And sometimes people are not able to see the vision because God didn't give them the vision, He gave you the vision. And so if God gave you the vision, but you're trying to have this other person co-sign the vision that they didn't get, then you're gonna wait for a long time. And you might miss the opportunity that God has crafted specifically for you. Just free yourself. Every ounce of support, help, receive it. Be happy about it. Be grateful for it. But don't make it the deciding factor on whether or not you're going to pursue what you know in your heart you should be pursuing, or the type of life you want to be living. And sometimes you just have to be first. Sometimes maybe you come from an environment where nobody has ever done what you want to do. And sometimes it takes courage, but you'll have to be first. And you'll have to go without people's approval, or maybe even like against other people's preference. And you're gonna have to be okay with that. And you're gonna have to be okay with maybe then they'll say, girl, you changed. And you'll have to be okay with them maybe not inviting you to their events anymore, or not being part of their inner circle anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. You'll meet other people on the journey and other people along the way that will align more with where you're going and not so much where you came from. Sometimes when it comes to leveling up, you just gotta free yourself from the opinions of other people. Not sometimes, actually, every single time you have to do it. And that's okay. Give yourself permission. That's okay. Something else I wanted to say really important about this point is when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Mama Maya Angelou said it, and that's really important. And I have had to learn this the hard way, and this is like a really good piece of advice that I'm dropping here, a nugget, and I hope you're picking it up. To believe what people show you when you're trying to level up and you're trying to go to another level. It's very important to use discernment and to trust your intuition and to know who is supposed to come with you and who's not supposed to come with you, because those people who are not supposed to come, if you drag them along, if you bring them along, they can cause you to lose everything that you worked really hard for. And it's usually not until after the fact that you realize, I probably should have let her go at that exit back there, but for some reason, you know, we go way back, or I'm just nice, nice. And so I kept dragging her along, and now she has nothing to lose, and she's making me lose the things that I worked so hard for. And that is a real thing, and something that I had to learn and that I'm still learning, because I love people. I love for everybody to feel included, everybody to feel valued. And so I am notorious for like hoarding people and continuing with people for the rest of my life, where that's not always what God intended, you know? And I know there's a passage in the Bible that I live by, and it says, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically, as far as it's up to you, be at peace with all men. And I believe that at the bottom of my heart. Like, even if somebody does me wrong, I do my best to be at peace with them. I am a big proponent of having conversations and working through conflict. I hate gossiping and people talking behind other people's backs. Like, that's not the way. And so as far as it's up to me, I'll always be willing to have a conversation, to work through something. But again, the Bible says, as far as it's up to you. And there are some points where it's not up to you, because there are people out there who are dead set. They have decided in their mind that they are going to misunderstand you. And there is nothing that you can do about it. They've decided that you are XYZ, that you are whatever, fill in the blank, and there's nothing that you can do to change their mind. There is no way that maybe they misunderstood you. Well, they want to misunderstand you, like that's the point. They're just like going to stick to their guns, and there's no point in you bending yourself backwards trying to win their approval, because you're not gonna get it. So you do what you can, and then you leave the rest to God, because that's honestly their lack of forgiveness, or their whatever it is that's going on within them, because you might have not even done anything to them, and they just don't like you. And so whatever it is that they're dealing with, that's between them and God. That is between them and God. God will deal with it. And of course, for you, it doesn't feel good, especially if you don't have any ill intent towards anyone. And that's not gonna feel good to you. But at the end of the day, if you did your part, you can rest on the fact that, hey, my heart, my conscience is clear with God. And if they're deciding that this is what they want to do, this is how they want to be, then they could go ahead and be that and do that. And really healing your relationships with people is gonna help you level up. Number 10, gratitude. I love this one. I started a gratitude journal a little bit over 12 months ago, and it's been amazing to be able to go back and read the things that I'm grateful for. But I think what's been even more amazing than going back and reading is just every day forcing myself to think of things that I'm grateful for. And every morning I take most mornings, I'm not gonna lie, I skip some, like I missed some for whatever reason. But most mornings I will grab my gratitude journal, and in my gratitude journal I can list things that I'm grateful for, and also things that would make the day amazing, affirmation. And then I also, at the end of the day, there's like a section for, I mean, I've used a few different ones, but the one that I'm using right now, there's a section that's like for the day when you wake up, and then there's a section for the evening. So in the evening section, you can write 3 things that went really well, and then something that you learned that day. And I just love having a gratitude practice. And I'm surprised that, I mean, I've always been a pretty grateful person. I'm just surprised that I never had like a gratitude journal before, and really putting pen to paper of all the things that I'm grateful for. And it's not like this long list that I write every day of all the things. It's just 3 things that I, in the moment, feel grateful for. It could be something as small as my cup of tea, to having a roof over my head, to bigger things like my family, or something specific that happened, like good news that I received the night before. Or it could be anything, literally anything that you're grateful for. You just jot it down, and it really helps focus your mind on gratitude. And I heard this quote one day that I thought was so powerful, and it says something like, what if you were only able to keep the things that you were grateful for? What if you were only able to keep in your life the things that you were grateful for? And so all the things that you're taking for granted, gone. So if you took your family for granted, if you took the house you live in for granted, if you took your job for granted, all gone. Like, imagine And so it's just like a good reminder that by being grateful too, it's a great way to keep the things that matter to us, and even the things that maybe we don't realize are such big blessings. And so I definitely think to level up, you need a gratitude practice, and just as you're grateful for more things, you'll get more things to be grateful for. And a great thing to do too is if the things you're grateful for are people, let them know. Write them a note, shoot them a text, or maybe the next time you see them, you know, from the heart, tell them that, hey, I'm grateful for you, this, that, and other. This is what you did for me. And sometimes people do things for you that they don't even realize that they did. And so you expressing gratitude can completely shift their day and completely give them a boost, you know? Think about the last time somebody told you they were grateful for you, or that thank you for something that you did. Like, that made you feel good. So, you know, spread that around. Tell other people how they blessed you and how they've helped you. And it doesn't even have to be somebody that you know in real life. It could be somebody that you follow on social media that's super inspiring, and you can thank them, like, hey, say, hey, your journey has inspired me because I'm going through something, you know? Everybody wants to hear stuff like that. So be grateful, say that you're grateful, and write down the things you're grateful for. The next one is one of my favorites because I'm a lifelong learner. I've always said this about myself. I love to learn. Learning is one of my strengths. And I think that to level up, you need to be open to learning. And honestly, if you're on this video right now, it's proof that you're open to learning and that you do believe that you can learn from other people, that you can learn from books and podcasts and videos like this one. Being a lifelong learner and knowing that anything that you want to learn is most likely out there for you to learn, and it's just a matter of you to seek it out. Maybe it's a master class, maybe it's Skillshare, maybe it's a YouTube channel that's focused on something specific, or a Google search that you can do and something that you can sign up for. You know, it doesn't always have to be traditional school or like high school, college, or anything like that. Sometimes it's just connecting to someone who's teaching what you want to learn. And so it's super important to constantly be open to learning and to seek it out, and to really be intentional about what you're learning, where you're learning it from, and knowing that it takes humility to say, I don't know everything. I might want to pursue this thing, but I don't know how. And so Google whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever area you're trying to level up in, or maybe it's your finances that you want to level up in and you need to get like somebody to help you budget better, or you need somebody to help you learn how to invest, or you need to go to your bank and seek some advice. All those things, they do take initiative. You have to be the one to seek that out, but also the humility to know that you don't know everything, and it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to look for information in ways that you feel that you're lacking, because sometimes, even we were talking about procrastination earlier, sometimes the procrastination comes from a lack of knowledge. Maybe you're procrastinating on doing a specific thing, but the root of it is because you don't feel like you know enough about it. Or the root of it is because you feel like there's information that's missing. So it's like really overwhelming for you to try to pursue this thing because there's so much that you don't know. And so getting to the place where you're humble enough to say, you know what, I don't know this, so I'm gonna look for it. And I know there's somebody out there that's gonna be able to help me. That's number 11. Number 12 on leveling up, and I think it kind of puts a nice little bow on everything, is prioritizing self-care. Because as you're going to be pursuing these goals and trying to go to the next level, there's like something flying. As you're gonna be pursuing these goals and trying to level up and everything, what we're not gonna do is be raggedy as we're trying to reach these goals, right? We're not just gonna work hard, we're also gonna play hard. Well, I don't know. You have to be careful what you say these days, because I don't want you to misinterpret what I mean by play hard. What I mean is, if you're gonna work hard, you need to self-care hard too. I'm gonna say that. And self-care is not necessarily only bubble baths, right? I'm here for all of the skincare, masks, like I love those things, candles, bubble baths, and that is an important part of self-care. Going to get a massage and, you know, investing in spa treatments and making sure that you do things that bring you joy. And nobody can judge you if doing a mask or going to the spa or getting a massage like brings you joy. Like, it's okay. Like if red lipstick brings you joy, like me, like red lipstick brings me joy. You know, when I wear my red lipstick, you know I'm in a good mood. I wanted to wear red lipstick, like I'm feeling it. Like I'm here. And so you can't let people make you feel bad for wanting to take care of yourself and indulge yourself. And like, if you work hard, look, take care of yourself, right? But there's another part of self-care that I also think is really important, and that is being caring towards yourself. And that means not overworking yourself. It means watching yourself talk. How you speak to yourself really matters. Being intentional and mindful of everything that you put next to I am. So if you say things like stupid, crazy, broke, never gonna make it, whatever you put next to I am, make sure that it is kind to yourself. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Treat yourself like someone you love. Sometimes I feel like we can be so self-critical, we could be so hard on ourselves in a way that we would never be with somebody else. Like, we give other people so much grace for so many things, right? And like, we encourage them, like, you can do it. It's okay if you missed out. You can, you know, tomorrow is a better day. But to ourselves, we beat ourselves down when we're not living up to a certain standard, whatever it is. And so I'm very mindful of what I put next to I am when it pertains to me. And also, actually, I take it to the next level. I also put a firm boundary also on how I let other people characterize me. And what I mean by that is, I think words have power. And so if somebody says, oh, you're so whatever, if I don't like what the whatever was, I'll let them know immediately. Like, no, I am not that. Like, I'm not that. And it's important for you to take ownership of the things that are said about you in your face, and not just like, oh, it's just a joke. Like, no, words have power. Words have power, and respect is important too in your relationships. And so, and if somebody doesn't receive that from you, they don't respect you and they don't need to be in your life. But anyways, that's a story for another day. That's for another day. But one thing that is really important when it comes to also putting those boundaries, and you know how sometimes people want to do these like fictitious scenarios? I don't do that. I don't let somebody like say, so for instance, like imagine you died tomorrow. Like, you are not gonna say that about me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, you can say your hypothesis or your fictitious scenario, but use Jane Doe. Don't use me. Use somebody else that doesn't exist. Don't use, like, you don't need to. But sometimes people, like, that's how they talk. For emphasis, it has to be themselves or you. And it's like, no, it doesn't need to be all that. It could be Jane Doe. Imagine somebody dies tomorrow. Da 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 da. Like, it doesn't have to be me, you know? Let's speak life. So self-care is really not only the pampering, but really the self-talk, being kind to yourself, giving yourself second chances, and allowing yourself to be all that you can be. This is it. These were the last 6 tips out of 12 on how to level up this year, unlocking your best life. If you found it helpful, go ahead, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know if you would have added something different or what we should add to the list. Also, like this video, it just helps me with the algorithm. And look, I would love to get to 500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, help a sister out, subscribe, send it to your friends. If you found this content helpful, share it with someone so that they can also level up this year. I love you for being here and for watching to the end. If you made it this far, drop a pink heart in the chat or in the comments, I should say, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.